Raise your hand if you've never done a triathlon before. I have one, two. Those that I can't see, let's see you. That's part of what we're trying to build here as community. And by the way, I am Deb Carabat. I am a level two para triathlon coach, and I am also a level two not para, non-disabled triathlon coach. I brought women into our sport. I race myself in between. I'm also a para advocate. I am the head of athletes with disabilities for the Los Angeles Marathon and other running races in the LA area. I do coach for USA Triathlon. You may see me at different races across the country. Definitely come say hi. Absolutely. Um, and I've done this race a few times. It is absolutely one of my most favorite races because it's not just the race, it's an entire weekend. You can bring family, friends, you can camp on the ground, or you can do what I do and get a trailer. But it's such a fun weekend. There's music, there's yoga, there's something for everybody to do in addition to the race, So. And it's kind of like you're in sleepaway camp too, and different tri clubs will be there. So if you're not a part of one, go join one. Last year, I brought a few games like Twister. I actually got on the ground and played with a 10-year-old, and a few of us got in there near the campfire. So it's really a whole weekend experience. I'd also like to introduce Colleen Bausman, who is our race director and second generation. It's all part of the family. We love Colleen. I've gotten to know her so well over the years. So I'm going to let Colleen do a little bit of an intro and then we'll take it away.
Yes, so I'm Colleen. I actually have been race directing for 27 years. I'm a graduate of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And so it is near and dear to my heart to have Cal Poly students come back and volunteer at this event. So many of you have probably heard about Cal Poly being integral to not only racing at this event, but also being such a heartbeat behind volunteering and having the students there to encourage you guys and to be there to cheer you on throughout the weekend. So the First Timers program was something that I have been working alongside with USA Triathlon and Deb for making happen this year, and also working with TriDot to make happen this year because we really wanted it to make it possible for people to come and be a part of this race and take out the intimidation factor, not only for the sport of triathlon, but also with Wildflower being different in the dynamic that it has camping, but it also has the ability to, you can do vacation rentals, you can do RVs, you can do glamping,
Give away a pair of shoes.
you can go ahead and you can do all kinds of different things. And we want to be able to share all those different aspects and answer all of your questions. And so this is going to be able to help you guys build that community that you guys need in order to answer those questions and walk alongside you. So Deb, I'll let you take it from here. We'll be able to answer all of your guys' questions at the end of this as well. Meanwhile, if you guys have questions as you're going along, I'm going to let Deb present. But if you guys have questions, feel free to use the chat, and I will be kind of watching the chat and answering your questions as you're going along in that chat as well.
Great. Thanks, Colleen. Like I said, for those of you who have never done it, it is so much more than the race. It's just such a fun weekend, and I'm excited to be there again. And we're gonna start with a video to give you a little bit of a feel of what you're gonna be up with for the weekend. So here we go.
Is there supposed to be audio?
No audio?
Not on our end, no. But I think I can still, the video's fine, I guess.
We will go ahead at the end of the night, go ahead and put a link so that you guys can see this video online as well afterwards. We are in the middle of a very strong storm that's going through right now as well. We just had a hailstorm that started about 3 minutes ago here. So,
Oops.
but it's filling up our lake. So I'm going to be very happy about that. So
So, yes, the lake is for those who have never swam in a lake, it's wonderful. It's beautiful, and you'll also be able to paddleboard if you want to do that. But let's bring you into what the program is. So, there's a lot that we're going to give you tonight. Just a brief overview, and please, if you feel overwhelmed or a little, like, oh my God, there's so much, let me know, put it in the chat, send me an email. I'll put my email up at the end. But I know I'm excited to have all of you here. And what we're going to do over the next 12 weeks is you're going to build a community, you're going to get the skills and the techniques that you will need to do the race, whether you're doing a relay, whether you're doing just an aqua bike, whichever part you're doing the off-road, we're going to give you with different speakers, different coaches, different experts in their field. Each week, we're going to have a different topic, and you will all at the end of this, I will email everybody the we have a whole program, so you'll be able to see the schedule every single week what we'd like from everybody, and I know it's hard because life happens in between all of that. So some of the things that and expectations are with any kind of training, it's consistency. So as many of the meetings that you can make every week, that would be great. We are going to record every meeting, so if you miss something, you will be able to find it. We have a Facebook page, so every week I will put all the links from the previous meetings, anything important. Um, our partners on this are Triathlon, and so they will have some great PDFs and sources that we're going to post as well. Questions, what's really nice about the social media that we have and our own community pages is that you may post a question on, say, it's the Facebook page or in the chat with WhatsApp. Someone else may have already experienced something that you're going through, or may have a little tip that will help you. So that's part of the big thing about this is community. And one of the things that I have loved so much about triathlon is the community that we built. And I have met and still have some of the greatest friends. And I count Colleen as one of those. I started as just someone didn't know what she was doing and racing, and now this is what I do, and it's my passion, and I love it. And so, no question, there is no dumb question. Do not be intimidated. That is one thing about this group. This is a group. I don't want anybody to feel intimidated. I want you all to feel like we're in this together, and we are. So there is no question that is a dumb question. There is no question that even if we've heard it once or twice, some of you may have missed a session. Please ask away, send me an email. We'll make sure that you get everything that you need for this. Okay, so the virtual platform for some of you, we will have a demonstration probably next week with TriDot. So that's just an added bonus. And you are all going to get a 3-month free subscription. And so you'll learn that's going to add to your training. You'll be able to track those of you that are data geeks, you'll be able to track all your data on that, you'll be able to track your progression. So you can actually see as you're training, how are you doing? Are you on track? Are you following what's going on in the training plan that I have written for everybody that I will send you and we'll briefly go through towards the end? Um, where are you? Where are you? Do you feel okay? Are you having a rough week? Maybe you need to back down. If you need to go a little harder, we can talk about that. But we're going to give you all the tools that you're going to need. And then what goals do you have for yourself? You know, for those of you that this is your first race or your first wildflower, your main goal is to finish. That's your main goal. And finish, it's really important with a smile and don't look at your watch when you cross. You want to be like, woo! Okay, so many people look at their watch and then you have a picture that you're looking at your watch. So your goal for your first race is to finish. And also for those that have never done Wildflower, it is a hard race. There are hills, but we're going to prepare you for all of that. It's a fun race. It's challenging. It's beautiful. But the goal is just finish the race. That's what we're going to do. So we're combining week 1 and 2, which last week was really week 1 because that was getting all the word out to you guys, letting you know what we're doing, letting you know that we're going to have this virtual program. And so this week, as we've talked a little bit, we're giving you the overview of the race. We're going to kind of give you an overview of the program. And then I'm going to take questions from all of you, any of you, you know, hopefully we'll have quite a few questions. So we're going to start with endurance races. How many of you have ever done, whether it's a triathlon, a biathlon, or 2 sports at one time? A few of you. Okay, Nomi, what races and Jesse? Bill, I know you. What
Um,
sports or what have you done back to back?
yeah, I did my first triathlon last summer and it was a sprint. And then I did a duathlon, like just the running and biking portion, in last October.
Good, congratulations. So, how was it that first time you did that first triathlon where you're used to doing one sport and you've had to do all three? How did it feel?
Um, I felt pretty good. I trained up for it. And so I was a little nervous about like transitions and going from like one event to another, but during the race I felt pretty like I was kind of happy with how I was feeling.
Great. And Jesse?
Sorry, I'm still on
That's
baby
okay.
duty for another 15 minutes here, but I did the my first and only triathlon. I did the Morro Bay
Oh,
Olympic distance, and that was pretty fun.
good. Great. So, what did you find the difference or the challenge between doing a single sport and an endurance sport?
I think well, just the overall length was longer than anything I'd ever done, and so there was just that element, and then I'd spent most of the time leading up to it just really worried about the swim because I got super dizzy in a training swim without earplugs. Um,
Ah,
and
okay.
then, but I'd been training actually really hard in the pool for swimming. And so it was basically as soon as I got in the water, I was like, oh, I have this. And the swimming was easy. And then at that point, it was just, I don't want to say skating through it, but I almost or probably rode way too hard because then I was cramping up a little bit on the run. So I think just trying to kind of balance all of those things and figure out what I should really be nervous about and focused on versus what are things that um, are just non-issues or just, jitters that I can't actually influence.
Okay, which, by the way, everybody goes through that. Even people like me who've been doing this for a long time. We all have our own jitters, depending on the race, whatever, but and we'll help you through all that. But how did it feel for you? What differences did you feel from doing the one sport versus, oh my gosh, I have 3 back to back?
I think, I mean, running off the bike was just was a lot harder, and it was just, using different muscles. So I think it was that, and then just little things of like, for years have been running with Injinji toe socks, and I just knew that wasn't going to cut it. So trying to figure out like what socks I could wear that could fit into the biking shoes that, I wouldn't have to change twice or whatever. So, some of those things, um, that, work through those and figured out a solution that worked well enough for that one, and, see if I can do it again.
Great. So that gives you guys a little bit of an idea that going from one sport, now you have three. And so with endurance training and endurance sports, well, yes, we have our pros and they're super fast. They didn't all start that way. It's all about learning how to pace yourself so that you're not so burnt out when the run comes that you can't kick it in. You want to be able to, with an endurance sport, go over that long haul. You're not looking to do those fast twitch muscles and, hey, I'm doing a 5K and I just got to go all out as quick as I can. Some of the sprints you will do that eventually, but for this race, we're going to help you understand how to go from that swim, get that anxiety down if you have any anxiety, which a lot of people have, but you won't, and just feel the crowd. And we're going to teach you how to read the water. So that helps you be calm. We're going to help you visualize your race, but it's going to be going from that swim into your transition, getting that wetsuit off, which is also part of the endurance because you're all ramped up and you want to get out. And then going on that bike, which, as you heard, Jesse may have gone a little bit too hard. So it's all about you want to pace each segment and going from the bike to the run. And like Jesse said, his legs, well, your legs are going to feel, even though you're cycling and then you're going to run, you are using your legs, but your body's in a different position. Your legs are working a little bit different. And you are going to feel like I have matchsticks for a second or two that don't want to do anything going from that bike to the run. So, endurance coaching and endurance training and endurance racing, it's all about the pacing, getting comfortable. How do I make sure that I have enough energy in each segment as I go through it, and that I still have enough energy at that very end that I have paced. I have, the fourth discipline, and we will have Dorit, I think, is on here, is nutrition, believe it or not. Nutrition to me is the fourth discipline. If you don't fuel right, you're not going to have the energy to get through and handle the endurance the whole way. So that's, for those of you that are new, there is a joke and there's something, there's t-shirts that you'll see some people wear that say, why be bad at one sport when I can be bad at all three? Well, you're not going to be bad at all three, I promise. And you'll also find that out of the three, there may be one or two that are your strongest segments. And so what you'll see in the training plan is there will be a training day or two where I put in there your limiter. What's your limiter? What is the one that you could do more work on? So it's okay not to be great at all three of the sports, or it's okay to be great at one and then you're going to build and improve on the other. So everybody is different. Some of you might be fast, some of you might be a little bit slower, some of you might be stronger. So don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just work on your level. And if you find when you're training that you're having some issues, please let me know because we'll adapt where we have to, because you want to be able to get through all those training sessions. And what's going to happen too for some of you with the training plan, now you're training 5 days a week because you all have a day off, because that's important on the recovery. But you're going from training for one sport to your training for three different sports. And each segment or each workout is a little bit different because you're not doing 5 runs in a row or 4 days in the pool. So that's another thing, is learning to go one day you might do a swim, the next day is a run. We have a couple days where you're going to double up. You might be doing a run and a bike or a swim and a bike. Um, we're going to do bricks. Bricks are what we call their bike to run, and that's part of the transition. And that will be, we have, one of our speakers will also discuss that farther on. So it's all about getting your body used to, hey, I can do these three sports. I can do them over a certain amount of time, but not blowing yourself up or making sure that as part of that, you're properly fueled, you're properly trained, you know how you're going to go from that swim to the bike to the run, or for some doing duathlons or, doing run, bike, run. But that's what the endurance is to be able to make it from the start to that finish line and not feel like you have just burned every match in the match book. And that's what we're going to do. One of the other super important things, and I have written that in your training plan, is to listen to your body. Always listen to your body. There might be a day that maybe your body's tired, and it's okay. It's okay if you need to take a rest day or if you need to move something around, but it's really important to listen to your body. If something is hurting, figure out why is it hurting? Have you overtrained? Are you tired? Do you need new running shoes? That's something that's important too that people don't think about. Sometimes you might need a new pair of shoes, or are you, when it comes to the swim, which we're going to have a coach talk to us about the swim, are you doing, are you coming over? Are you doing the reach and roll? Are you getting that hip action? Everybody thinks it's all from the shoulder. You don't want to just be throwing that shoulder out there, or you won't have much of a shoulder left. So pay attention to your body. If it is tired, if you need to sleep in, do that. If you're not eating enough, if you're not feeling good, the general rule if you get sick is if it's from the head up, like if you just had a head cold or maybe some allergies, you can do some light working out. But if you've got anything from the neck down, meaning you've got a chest cold or something like that, you want to take that rest. Because if you don't do that, you're going to end up setting yourself back a lot more than taking the couple of days that your body needs to rest. So really pay attention to what your body is saying. And as well as that, for any of you who have any issues, just make sure that if you have any medical issues, you've cleared it with your doctor. If there's anything that any of us need to be aware of, let me know, let Colleen know. We're all here for you in the long run. Another question that people have, or issues that people have, and Jesse, I'm sure you can attest to this now as you're doing, is time management. Life happens. This is something that we're lucky that, we're very fortunate that we're going to do it. For some of you, who knows, maybe you'll get on the podium, whether it's this race or in the future. But for most of us, we're doing this because it's fun, it's exercise, it's healthy, it's a great community. I can list a whole bunch of things, but we have life. You have jobs, you have families. Those that are lucky enough to be retired, excuse me one sec. You still have things you like to do. So time management. One of the nice parts is with the plan, you have everything laid out for you, Monday through Sunday. So you don't have to figure out what workout do I have to do. But it is a sport that when we go into, or a lot of times open water, for those in California or ocean communities, we swim early. We're in that water between 6 and 7 a.m. because that is the easiest time to get in. It's the less crazy, unless there's a storm like we're all having in California. And races start early. Generally, I've seen triathlons start anywhere from 5 a.m. to as late as 8 a.m. But it's an early sport, so you kind of want to get used to that. And also, for a lot of people who work late, get those workouts in early. And I will tell you, it is so nice. It's quiet. It's kind of before the rest of the world wakes up. It's a good way to start your day. You get a lot more energy if you can do it. If you work earlier during the day, then figure out your schedule after work, or if you can do a short workout at lunchtime. But try and look at the schedule, see how you can fit everything into your lifestyle because you don't want to get stressed out. And this is a lifestyle, by the way. Triathlon is not only a sport, but it does become a lifestyle. So, and I see Bill's nodding his head there. It does. It really does become a lifestyle, and you get used to it. So, on the days that we may have double ups, I think I put most of those on the weekend. You can do, the bike to run. That's a good transition for you. Sometimes you can do a run to bike, doesn't hurt. On the weekends, you have the time. But if you don't, try if you can to get a workout in the morning. And the other thing that's really important is it's about consistency and frequency. So let's say on the schedule, it's go swim for an hour, but you only have 30 minutes. Do the 30 minutes or go for a 20-minute run. Better to get something in and keep that consistency and that frequency going than not have any sort of workout. Like Alan's on his bike right now. I see that. He's training. So the time management, yes, you are gonna, the one thing about a triathlon, you really have to plan out when can you do those workouts. So just add that to your day and make it just a part of your life. It's going to become a part of your life. So that's really on the lifestyle part of it. Have it just become your daily routine. On that day off, you can also, on the day off, you can go take a yoga class. You can go for a nice little walk. Go spend time with family, go to a movie. But this is going to give you some more structure for those who may not have some, because again, it's frequency and it's consistency in the training that's going to get you through it. Any questions right now before I pull up the training program and we'll talk about the plan a little bit? And before I do that, I'm going to highlight all 12 weeks for everybody, but I want to see, are there any questions? Anybody? Okay. All right. Then we're going to move on. So this program, you guys are, it's great because you are in the first one that we are having. So we're going to start. Today is 1 and 2, which is intro to the race, intro to Wildflower, as well as just training basics. And training basics also includes equipment, which I'll briefly talk about because we will have other sessions that will go into a little bit more detail with equipment. So week 3, which is next week, and again, you guys are all going to get the schedule. I have the dates on it, and I will send you the links for our Facebook page, for our WhatsApp, and any information and anything that we get from TriDot or any of the coaches or experts that are going to be talking later on. They will send it to me, and I will make sure everybody gets everything, and we will have it all. So don't ever feel like if you can't make it, again, it will all be recorded.
Deb, hi. This is Yada here. I have a quick question. I don't
Sure.
use Facebook, so will we get like emails or
Yes.
okay,
Yep,
perfect.
I'll be emailing anything important. Also, do you have WhatsApp? Because we're also going to have a
WhatsApp? Yeah.
community.
That
Okay,
I have.
great.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
we're going to have a community on WhatsApp as well, because we know not everybody uses Facebook, and there's so many different, methods now. So we figured between WhatsApp and Facebook, hopefully we get all of you.
Okay,
But
awesome.
we'll
Thank
get
you.
emails too.
Okay,
And if
thank
you
you.
ever miss something, please let me know.
Okay, thank you very
Let me
much.
know. So week 3, next week is going to be gear and setup, and we're going to try and help you not feel so overwhelmed. Do I need to get a new bike. No, you don't need to get a new bike. You know, things like that. Um, you know, you will see people who have big, huge, fancy bikes or really expensive bikes, but you don't need to do that. And in fact, one of the things that I do with my beginning athletes is if they have a bike, and myself included, I started on what I had someone, you know, my coach was also a fitter, and we just fit the bike that I had, and it made a difference. And then once I knew I was going to stay in the sport, then I started to collect bikes, kind of like shoes. I now have 4 or 5 bikes, but I coach and I also coach cycling. So you do not need 4 or 5 bikes. Use what you got. So gear and setup. And next week we will have a bike mechanic who also does fittings. He'll talk about what do you look for when you buy a bike for those that are going to get bikes. I have a client who she just got a used bike. She's doing her first triathlon. You can do that too. People are selling bikes all over the place. Um, and then we'll have our second speaker next week will be from Roca, who is our wetsuit sponsor, and they will talk about how do you pick out a wetsuit? What do you look for? How do you put one on? How do you take one off? There's all these little tricks and tips and, you know, race week. I'll go over all of that stuff too because you may forget and you're nervous. So we have a lot of that. So that's
Hey,
for next week. Week
hey, Deb.
4.
Deb,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. This is Dorette, and were
Hi,
you going to share
Dorette.
your hi? Were you going to share your screen? I don't see a schedule up. I'm not sure if anybody else is noticing. Right now, it's the
Um,
Wildflower Experience, the intro page.
Okay, hang on and let me, sorry, where is, okay, let me bring this one over. Let's see if it will open for me. Okay, let's bring this over. Here we go. All right, can everybody see this? Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Dorit, for reminding me about that. All right. Okay, so you can see that we're in week 1 and 2.
Yeah,
3
Deb,
week.
can you zoom in on it so that it's a little bit larger too?
Yes, I can. How is that? Can everybody, is it
Yeah, no better.
That's good.
all right? Great. So, week 4, we're going to talk about mindset, confidence building, and we've broken this up into phases. So, we're going to go into a build. We're not just throwing you into, hey, we're going to go ride a bike. So, some of you, as we're training, may feel like, oh, I can't do this, or I'm just having trouble learning how to shift properly, going up a hill, coming down, things like that. We're going to help you get through all of that. We'll help you get out of that self-doubt and get to that next piece of the race or build that confidence in the entire race, in your limiters, like I spoke about earlier. Redefining success. What does success mean? Does it mean, oh my God, I got a medal? Did I get on the podium? Does it mean, hey, I made it through the bike section. I heard how hard it was. And wow, I got a nasty grade. Which is a hill, which you guys hope you won't be doing on the sprint. But, you know, success is it you finished your first triathlon? That's a great success from someone who hasn't ever done one. Or is the success you made it through the water, you got your wetsuit off? A lot of, you know, how did I get my wetsuit on? Learning how to swim. So we'll redefine success that it doesn't necessarily mean, hey, I won the race or anything like that. There's so many little successes that you're going to have over these next 12 weeks. The other one, staying motivated. How do we stay motivated? You know, we'll talk about that because after a while you might be tired or you might be like, oh my gosh, I still have 3 weeks to go. Um, and we'll have guest coaches on that. We're going to go into the next phase, which is building your competence, familiarity, and trust in your training, which again, our coaches and expert speakers will help us on that. And we're going to break down each segment. So we're going to do course preview at the same time that we're doing each segment. So, week 5, we're going to talk about the bike. We'll go into more detail, and our guest speaker and coach that week is my old coach and my mentor, Ian Murray, who's a level 3 USAT triathlon coach and has been around a long time. He also does bike fitting, so he knows bikes backwards, forwards. He's done this race so many times. He knows every inch of the course as well, so it's great. And then we will also have Mike Bunting from Rudy Project, who is our sponsor for helmets and glasses. Mike is also a racer. He's racing all the time. So he gets it. He gets what everybody's going through, as well as working with our helmet sponsor. He will talk about, how do you pick one out? How do you know when it's time for a new helmet? How do you make sure that it fits me correctly? Different types of glasses. And then week 6, we're going to discuss the run. We're going to do the course preview with the run with David Levine, who some of you may or may not know if you've ever run the LA Marathon or have done track workouts in Los Angeles. So he is both a USAT level 2 and a USA track and field level 2. He's also the head coach for the LA Marathon and several races in Los Angeles. And for those of you who are in the LA area, you are welcome to join. He has track night every Wednesday for all different levels, including walkers. So I will put that resource in there. Strength, mobility, and injury prevention. A lot of people, the thing about triathlon is we're always moving forward. We're swimming forward, we're running forward, we're cycling forward. And a lot of people think, oh, I don't have to do any weights whatsoever. Well, yeah, you kind of do, because they do help in every segment. They help with your run, getting that core. You need your core in all 3 of these segments, and the core just isn't your stomach muscles. It's everything around that midsection. So you would be surprised at how much that core plays a part in cycling, in swimming. And you don't have to lift heavy. Heavy lifting isn't what we need. You want to keep those muscles strong, because lifting or strength training also prevents injuries. And that's our goal too, is to get you across that finish line, but to get you across without injuries. And we will have our ambassador, Jen, who is right now going through, she is rehabbing, and how she is rehabbing and still being able to keep motivated and do what she's been told to do on the doctor side, because also you'll find we're a little impatient. We want to be out there running again, or swimming or biking. So she's going to share her story on that for us. Week 8, again, like I mentioned, our 4th discipline, nutrition, and our guest speaker happens to be on, Dorit there. She's on, as well as coaches, and she races. So she'll talk about the different types of fueling. How do you know which one works for you? And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the nutrition that will be on the course as well. And Dorit will talk to you about, what do you do for race week? You know, why does carbo loading the night before a race really work? Why do we talk about starting the week of the race to get your energy? And our final phase 3, execution and race readiness. So what we're going to do is, in week 9, we're going to take all those skills, all those techniques, everything that we've discussed, our experts have talked to us about, and we're going to start putting it all together so you're ready for the race. Brick workouts. So those will be explained. We'll show you what those are. Like I said, that's bike to run. And as you heard Jesse saying how, wow, my legs didn't want to work for a few minutes, but you'll hear from us on how to make that a little bit easier, and how do you do a brick? Transitions. I know a couple of you have talked about transitions, and transitions for some can make or break a race. Transitions are all about being organized. So we'll have the expert, they will talk to you, they will show you, when I go in there, I want to make sure that when I come out of that water, I have what I need. My bike shoes are ready. If I'm wearing socks, which most times I don't, but my bike's ready, my helmet's there. You know, what's the first thing you do? Put on that helmet and buckle it. Do not even think about touching your bike, and we'll go into more about why. And then that bike to the run. Some of you will be on flat pedals. Well, it's great. You don't have to change your shoes. You'll just go out there, but how do I put on my race number if I am running? You know, do I have a race belt? What does that mean? And then swimming, you know, how do I go from coming out? How do I get that wetsuit off? How am I ready to go? So we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about the flow of race day. What does that mean? What time should you get up? Should you eat? Where are you going to meet? Where's the transition? What are you going to do from the time that you get up and you have your breakfast until you get through that race? So we're going to talk about that, simplifying everything, making it really smooth for you. And then we'll probably do a little bit of a mock race weekend. Like we'll talk about, okay, this is what we're going to do. Week 10 is our race weekend insider guide. And that is going to be from soup to nuts from the day you get there, whether you get there on a Thursday afternoon or a Friday morning until you leave. The check-in, you know, the check-in process, the camping process, where are you camping? If you're pitching a tent, where are you going to put the tent? If you're renting a trailer, where is your trailer? Is it in Harris Grade? It is in Redondo. What does that mean? What section? Where is that? If you're driving a camper, where are you going to put that? We'll go over all the different clinics that we're going to have on site all weekend. Some will go into the water, some will bike. Um, there will be massages. We're just going to go over everything, where the music is, where food is, and just all the fun of what the weekend is about. You can bring dogs for those of you that have dogs. And then we have an ambassador who she will share her experiences and her years. And then we have a wellness director that Lauren lives up in the area. And so she's got some last minute relaxation tips, wellness tips, post yoga. She'll be up there with some yoga. And then finally, we have week 11 is tapering. What does that mean? Tapering is you have done everything you're going to do by week 10. All of your training is done. If you haven't followed the program or if you haven't been able to train very much, people think that they can just catch up and try and do it. Nope, everything's done. Your last week leading into the race is where we're doing a few workouts, but they're light and they're predominantly to keep the legs warm, to keep the body going, to keep you so that you don't tighten up or, you know, you want to be loose. You want to make sure you're also going to check all your equipment. Is my bike tuned? Are my brakes working? You know, is everything where it's supposed to be? Um, is my wetsuit okay? You know, is there a hole in it or everything that? So you're going to use that week to start fueling, getting lots of sleep, light workouts to keep everything going. And then we're also going to talk about what to do race week, what not to do. Because a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I can do this week. Well, no, not a good idea. And then we'll help you get those nerves that you're gonna have, because you will, to go from nerves of fear to nerves of excitement and, you know, the weekend and visualizing your race and just visualizing how everything's going to go for that weekend. And then we'll have final Q&A, any last minute questions that you might have, any last minute if there's any kind of equipment issues, or, you know, it does happen sometimes where people will get up there and your goggles break. Well, we'll be able to tell you where you can go if you need to get new goggles or anything like that. So that's an overview of what our program is going to be. And then we have celebration. So, right, that will be the week of the race. And so we're all just going to, those of us that are coaches, are experts, we're going to celebrate you guys. and we're going to get you motivated and excited and everything else. And then one of the things, even during this session, during these next 12 weeks, I highly encourage making a community, getting to know people. You know, people are coming from all over. So it is really fun when you actually get to finally meet in person, um, and see everybody you've been talking to and training with from afar. Or if you are in areas not too far from each other, reach out, go and do a workout together. It's really nice to get to know people and to have people to work out with. And then really, that's it. Also, when you get there, ambassadors, I will be there. We have different wildflower ambassadors. Feel free to find an ambassador and say, hey, can you take me on a tour? Or what is it going to look like when I'm going down the boat ramp to the lake? You know, it's a little bit of a climb up. They'll take you down there. They'll show you, they'll walk you through. Okay, you go from the lake into transition, or where is transition? Where is your number? So don't be afraid. That's what we're there for you guys. And then, like I had mentioned previously, we are going to have different clinics throughout the weekend. So feel free to drop in. They'll be announced. You'll have the schedules. They'll be online. And do warm-ups. You know, get in that water before race day. See what it feels like, to go down the ramp, to go out. There'll be buoys. Colleen, do we set the buoys up on Friday? Will they be out there on Friday or just race Saturday and Sunday?
And no, they're out there on Friday. Let me go ahead. We actually have several of the clinics that are happening on Friday as well. So just so everybody knows, there is a full set of clinics that will be put on the website that usually get up there by April 1st. Our sponsors are great at being really involved and putting together some great, not only on the water clinics, but stage clinics to help people get ready. So if you have a chance to come in on Thursday evening or Friday morning, they usually start by noon on Friday, and they will be able to swim on Friday.
Great. And before I go over to the race plan, I hope she doesn't mind, but I would like to introduce our presenting sponsor who is helping get us through all these trainings, Barb Campbell from TriDot. We're gonna send you a link for a recording so you can watch on your own time and learn a little bit more about TriDot, how it works, how it will work with your training while you're while you're getting ready for Wildflower. And so, Barb, I'm going to let you talk for a couple of minutes and tell us more.
Deb, hey Colleen, hey everybody. We had such a great time. Brandy Ramirez is on the call with us. Ryan Tibble, I think Dan Caskey had to drop out, but we were there last year at Wildflower. We had the absolute best time being able to watch our athletes, be able to perform out there and talking to everybody over a tent. So we wanted to make sure you guys had training that was really dialed in for this course, for this race, and for your current fitness level. So you have 3 months free to get you up to the race with branch or you can watch to be able to go through, make sure you know how to set up your account. But it's a wonderful thing. This is my 20-year racing account, and I love this sport. And I found track in 2019, I think it was, and actually discovered I could train less hours, and actually, because I was hitting 50, and be able to train less hours, make sure that I wasn't getting injured. That's the key thing for my group. So if you have the opportunity more to get on, get set up, so you're dialed in and there's nothing to worry about. You can trust your training. Race day will go smoothly. Just follow the process. Be honest about current fitness so that it dials it in just for you. And we're here to answer any questions that you have. Our team's ready to support. And the next call for the recording. Thank you, Deb and Colleen, for setting that up. We have some fun surprise speakers who will be joining in and sharing some of their expertise, a few faces that you may recognize. So get excited for that. And yeah, we'll be with you all along the journey.
Yeah, and I did see Dan just jumped back in. So I would love to introduce Dan and have him see if there's anything that he wanted to talk about just because I know
Dan
that you,
always wants to talk. Yes.
Let's talk. How many hours we got?
yes. So,
You
because
have a limit, Dan.
yes, so because he is part of helping put this program together, and TriDot is offering free access to their program, and he can talk a little bit about that. We do have a recorded version so that you guys will have a chance to really dive in and see what it is about and be able to pause it and listen to it and understand it a little bit better. And I think it's just easier trying to do that than us present it on a little bit more of a virtual setting like this when you don't have a chance to be able to take notes and look at it and pause it and do that. So, Dan, I'll let you talk about it and be able to explain a little bit more. But we're excited not only about that, but I do think that there's a lot of presenting guests that they're going to be able to bring to this program. So I would like to announce that each week we're going to be emailing out as well as putting on the WhatsApp and the Facebook group what the topic's going to be and who the guest speakers are. So just make sure to check all those. Everything that we're putting on the Facebook, we're also going to be putting on the WhatsApp. So those are going to be functioning concurrently. So that if you don't have one of those tools, and you have the other, you just need to have one of the two. And so you can go ahead and just know that you can watch one of the two of those, as well as we'll put it on social media, and you'll be able to see who those speakers are each week and dial in with exactly what we're going to be talking about. So Dan, I'll let you take it. You have 1 minute to go ahead and talk.
Ooh, I love it. Listen, the short answer is, everyone's different, and we have swimming, biking, running that needs to be done to get ready, and we want you to do the right training right. I know Deb, and we've worked together at a couple events, and as she knows, and we everybody's different. We're gonna have a structure for where you start, but TriDot's gonna help you dial in what you need for wherever you're training, whether it's in California or South Carolina. And we do have how we can walk through and use the technology to help you have the best race day you can have. We have a video where you can watch. There's several of us are coaches, and we have a team and community. We'll even do a one-on-one with you if you want to walk you through so that we can see you and celebrate you on that finish line. So if you have any trouble with logging in, getting oriented, myself, Ryan, Brandy is here. We're going to have some great coaches and people to help you. But like Deb was saying, and listen, we just all want you to experience the fun of Wildflower and those finish lines, which is going to be it's always a life changer and a game changer when you get to cross the finish line. And so we want you to have the greatest experience. We believe TriDot can help you do that and celebrate it in just a really cool way. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So reach out. I'm here to help. We'd love to connect one-on-one. We got a lot of tools. We've got a lot of people and resources. We just love triathlon, and we're so excited, Colleen, to be back. This summer again.
I will say I am going to brag about the fact that most of your staff was on the podium last year. As much as
I'm
we're
just saying,
as much
success
as
does
we're
leave clues.
saying
Yeah.
this isn't about podiums. I did see a lot of TriDot people on podiums last year. So
Yeah, Ryan's one of them. He's on this call, and yeah, he was on there, and yeah, definitely hitting the goals. It's a different course too. It's a unique course. I'm from the low country of South Carolina, right? Our king of the mountain here is an overpass over the interstate. So we have to train differently, but get ready for that good California, that kick on the way out of the park. So a lot of fun there. We're excited, Colleen. It's gonna be great.
yeah, so I do see Lucy asking here, I'm confused about, is it TriDot? Is it different from what we're doing here? So this First Timers program is meant to be a community. So we're going to be here and we are going to be answering questions every single week. Deb is going to have an option that's a written program for anybody that has a program that is written out. And then TriDot is going to have the digital program for anybody that's using the digital program of things. So we are offering all different aspects of things, but this First Timers program is a weekly get together. It is a community. It's a program that's written so that you guys can get together on a weekly basis virtually. So what we're doing here is we're offering through TriDot, a program where you can go online digitally and do everything they need to do. And Deb has a program as well that's written out that you guys can do and follow on a written down PDF version that you guys can do if you're not going to be able to get in digitally to do something. So we're giving you all the tools. You guys will have all the tools that you want to have. TriDot has every tool that you need to go in through TriDot to be able to train with their program.
Yeah, and we also have that race X predictor too, so it's really
Yes.
good for everyone to help you know what you're capable of and what you can perform on. So just using your data to really give that feedback. So yeah, we'd love to help. We're excited for this community. It's good to see all these faces on today, and I know some people couldn't make it. So hello to you watching the recordings. We're excited to see you again, and just excited for each week as it goes forward.
Yeah, and Deb is here to be your wildflower coach and your access for any question that you guys may have. And so she is going to be here weekly to lead you and to be able to answer any questions that you guys have because she has been to Wildflower for so many years. Also on this weekly call, we will always have ambassadors that are here that are watching that chat and will be able to answer questions that you guys have because many of them are expert in various ways. So some of them are experts because it was their first wildflower last year. Many of them are experts because they love to camp. Many of them are experts because they're trail runners and they're not triathletes necessarily. So you'll see them watching the chat and they're there and they're watching the WhatsApp. They're watching the Facebook groups. We have over 25 different ambassadors that are out and about that are from all different stages of life. They're from collegiate athletes up to 65-year-olds. They're male, they're female, they're mothers, they're nurses, they're living lives day to day, just like each and every one of you. They're sprint athletes, they're long course athletes, they are Olympic athletes, they're doing open water swim. And so this program and what it is built to be is just somebody that is a community group that you guys have to connect with on a weekly basis. And I hope that answers your guys' question. We have TriDot that is a training tool. We have Deb that has a written program as well. Both of those are available to you guys.
And just tying that in for the written program, for those that want it, you can still use TriDot to watch your progression and see how you're doing on there. So you can use them both. The written programs for those that are beginner. I mean, we're starting very back to basics. Some of you can use it as a tool, and then if some of you are a little bit more experienced, you can go a little bit further, but you can still use both together. You can have one that you look at, and then you can go into the TriDot program platform and see how am I progressing because it will link into any of your digital watches, your computers if you have them. So it can track you as well. So you can use both if you want to do that. Briefly, I'm going to skim through quickly the written program for those of you so you can get an idea of what it looks like and you can always ask me questions. So initially, a little opening. Welcome to Wildflower. We're excited to have you. A little bit about what we're talking about with the virtual meetings. And again, just that quick note, if you need to okay it with your physician, doctor, whatever, please make sure. Each week, there is a goal for the training. So I have put into it, you can look at this page and say, oh, week 1, we're introducing our body to frequency of the workouts, movement, and week 6 is a recovery week. So you're going to have a week or two that might have 2 days off during the week. But this will tell you what your goals are for that week. And then everything is written out pretty much like this. It's in an Excel sort of form, and it will tell you what week it is, what the dates are, what you're going to be doing. And as you can see here, for the first week, for those that are pretty new, running 20 minutes, but we're going to do run 1 minute, walk 1 minute, run, and then you're going to keep increasing that as the weeks go on. And you'll see each week is like this. and you'll have a couple days off. Now, and then we have race week, we have the taper week, and then we have race week. So, packet pickup, we even walk you, make sure you get your packet, get everything set up, arrive early on race day. I'm always there at least 3 hours before race. I'd rather like relax and not get nervous, and then a little bit about me. But that's pretty much it, pretty simplified. You can tailor it if you cannot do a workout. Let's say I have you running for 45 minutes on a Friday and you can't make it, but you can make it on Thursday or Tuesday. You can move things around. You're not locked into those specific days because, again, life happens, or you might be tired one day, or you might have a meeting that went far longer than you thought. Also, better to get 20 minutes in than nothing at all. So that's it on my end. Any last questions from anybody before we go? And let's see, where's Erica? I know Erica was in my other First Timers program for Legacy last year. So
I was just wondering if is this race plan directed toward a particular distance or?
it's mainly for sprint because that's usually what the first timers are. But if you want me to fine tune it, I'm happy to fine tune for people who are going to go a little bit farther. But mainly this is first timers sprint, or people have maybe done one or two but would like to get some more skills and technique in it, and it leads right into the race.
I was just curious, like, how strict are the cutoff times?
Colleen?
If you look on the website, it does have the course closures. We do try to follow those, and they're usually for athlete safety as far as how long you should be out there on any given time. And it also depends on the course. So make sure when you're looking at those course cutoff times that you're looking at which course that you're looking at as far as it goes. And then you look at your wave that you're kind of going. And so we usually try not to keep you in the water past a certain amount of time. And so we kind of follow what USA Triathlon says is the amount of time that you should be in the water. So we try to follow those. Now, if you're 5 minutes after that, I mean, what we're trying to do is try to keep athlete safety at the first and foremost on a lot of that stuff.
Colleen, I have a quick question regarding that. Some races, you may not make the cutoff time, but they will take your chip, but they'll allow you to race. Are we going to do that at Wildflower?
For us, it's always athlete safety. And so, if somebody, we've had conditions to where, somebody on the bike, for instance, has just had a flat tire. They've been out there, they're in perfect condition, and they say, hey, I have my own person with me that's going to ride a bike with me, and I have my own aid, and I'm going to go out on the run. You can take my chip, and I have somebody that's going to ride with me, and they're going to go along with me. And so we handle those on case by case basis. Everything we do and the decisions that we make is for athlete safety. And so when you're training and when you're getting ready for a race, I would say get ready for a race based on those course closures.
I have a quick question. If someone has a flat tire during the ride, is there any people around to help to fix the situation if that person doesn't have anyone, like a friend or some, I don't know, family member?
We do have course support out there. So at each of our water stations that are out on course, there is a bike station that's out there. So it's a bike kit that can help you with flats and stuff like that. And then we do have bike support that's out there, that's roaming bike support. So if you're on the long course, that's usually where we focus most of our bike support, because out there you can't get help at all. And so we do have roaming bike support on the long course. It's a little bit harder when you're talking about the Olympic or the sprint, but we do have a cyclist that's out there that's with a backpack. They're usually wearing a yellow vest, And so they have a backpack with them and a yellow vest, and they're out there and they can usually help you with a bike, a bike change and stuff like that when you're out there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So we do have, that's one of the clinics that we do have on Friday, is if you are needing help just learning how to change bike tires and stuff like that, I would suggest Rudy Project does a clinic on Friday that's really good. That's helps you change tires and stuff like that. And that's an afternoon clinic on Friday.
I have another question, sorry. I will be doing long course. Mainly this question goes to Deb. Is it a bad idea to do as a first timer doing a long course?
It's not a bad idea.
Okay.
I think it's all about your training. It's really about the training and getting the proper skills and the techniques that you need, which that's part of what we're going to do in this community with the different experts. They're going to talk about certain skills, training, how do you shift properly, anticipating some of the hills that you might encounter on the long course for Wildflower, etc. So it's all about your training. Training is really important. So nope. I had a client, his very first race was Ironman California.
Okay, awesome.
So
Okay,
he
thank you.
skipped everything. So
You
we
can do
worked at
it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So yes,
Like Dan said, it's
you
a
can
fun
absolutely
course.
do it.
I think if you know what you're in for,
Yep.
there's a couple things that I would suggest on that one. There is quite a few hills that are on the course, and so if you're training for hills, Ian's going to be talking on this First Timers program about the hills on this course. He's also doing a velocity program where you'll have a chance to ride the long course and train on the long course. And so that can help prep you. There is a 2-week free trial. And so if you don't want to sign up for the program fully, you can at least try, and that will test you and at least see where you're at in the program. But I think that there's a lot of things that you can do that will be a tool. And like Dan said, they have a lot in the TriDot program that will help gauge exactly where you're at along that process. And I think as long as you know what you're in for a lot of the things, it's all about preparation.
Perfect. Thank you.
And that will be on March 10th, by the way, on our session on March 10th.
Jesse, what's your question?
And does anybody put on like on-site clinics or training rides or runs ahead of the race?
Yes, we do have some various clubs that are going to be doing some training clinics in April. We're going to be putting them on our website. I do know that Jay from Pac West is going to be opening up his clinic that he's going to be doing. I don't remember the date exactly. I think it's the second weekend. It's either second or third weekend in April. But if you watch our website or our social medias, there's a few of the clubs that are going to be opening up some various training sessions in April that they're going to be opening up to individuals to be able to come in and join them. And I do know that Jay from Pac West does a pretty good job with his. And I'm not sure what other clubs in the past. I know Bill Mason has also done something in the past. He's out of Paso Robles, where he's opened it up for a few people to come and join him as well.
Okay.
And
Cool,
Bill's
thanks.
one of our ambassadors. And so if you wanted to find out from him when he's doing a training clinic, if you go to our website and go to ambassadors, Bill Mason's on there, and you can reach out to him.
Okay, thank you.
Two that I know of, but it is a good point. And Deb, you can go ahead and add that to maybe one of our topics later on down the way is let's discuss prior to April any of the training clinics that we know about on site.
Okay.
Okay, so we have about 5 more minutes. I want to stay conscious of all of your guys' time, but I want to also just answer one of the questions. That's one of the key things that I wanted to have the opportunity is we do get a lot of questions that come over our customer service, and we don't always have a chance to answer all of them. And then it comes race week, and it seems like everybody has these last minute questions. And so this is that one-on-one opportunity every single week to answer some of those that you don't even think to ask. So I will take, that, 4 minutes or so that we still have left. If you guys have any further questions that you can think of.
Paul, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Hey, Paul, can you unmute? We can't hear you. There.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. This is my first Olympic and first time there at Wildflower. I've done a few sprints last year. I guess my question is, I read about the hill right off the bat on the bike. Just roughly, how long is that hill starting out? Is it like a quarter mile, half mile, not that long?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Do you remember? Hold on, we're pulling that up because I've just been working on course maps in the last couple
Okay.
days. So I was like, I have so many.
I was just reading on and I read it and I said, oh, I wonder, that's a nice way to start the race, but I'm just wondering how prepared should I be for that first big, how long is it?
Yes, it is.
It's about a mile.
It's almost a mile, and I believe it is a 11% grade or so.
Okay.
If you go on to our website and you go to the course descriptions, there is elevation maps on there. So I would look at the elevation maps
Okay, thank you.
and check that out, and you can pull the complete elevation on it. That is a good one to check out and that's another one that Ian is going to be able to talk you through exactly how to address, like when you come out of the transition area, he's going to help you do a test ride on how to pace yourself coming out of the transition and how to get up that hill with the legs of coming out of a swim and how to go up the hill.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. The other thing that he does do a pretty good job that he will talk you guys through. If you can make it back, I would definitely do the live version of it, but he'll talk you how when you're coming down, because it's just as hard as it is to go up the hill, when you're coming back down the hill afterwards and coming into transition and you're thinking about when do I unclip and that whole process of coming back into transition. He does a really good job with talking you guys through, the best time to unclip and how to unclip and that getting back into transition safely and stuff. So even long course people, he does a great job with that whole process and the best time to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'll make sure, and Deb, if you can make sure that when he's going through the bike portion of it, let's go through not only the sprint, but let's do sprint, Olympic, and long, and we'll do the elevations on all three of them.
Okay.
Follow up from my previous question, is it safe just to go out there and ride the Strava routes by yourself, or is there like dangerous traffic when there's not an actual race going on?
For all three courses, you can go out there and ride now. I mean, those are all open roads, and there's not a ton of traffic that's out there. You just have to follow all of the basic laws and stuff that are out there. And remember that they're country roads. And so, the people that are driving out there are used to be, driving those roads on a regular basis and aren't always used to cycling traffic out there. So just make sure that when you're going and you're making right-hand turns on the roads and stuff like that, that you're cautious of those things.
Especially home.
Okay, thanks.
And it
Yeah,
is very nice to ride. My cycling club, we spent a few days up there and rode all throughout. Just be aware, like Colleen said, it's not like when you're in a big city where people are everywhere. So there a lot of the drivers are used to the country roads, and stay as far to the right as you can because there are no bike lanes. So just be aware of your surroundings, but it is beautiful up there.
It's 0.9 miles,
Okay, so they just looked it up. It was 0.9 miles
the 340-foot gain.
with a 340-foot gain is what Lynch Hill is.
Max slope for 25%.
And the maximum slope on that is 25%.
But that's not very long. Pretty sure that's the boat ramp coming right out of the beach, out of the parking lot.
Yeah, they did say that that's a small portion. It's the boat ramp that's coming right out of there. So it's a very small portion that's that percent. The park is open as well for those of you guys that are looking at going out there and went to camp or something. The park is open on a regular basis. So anybody that wants to go out and even just go for the day, you can just pay a day fee and go out there and enjoy it as well.
Do we know how the water levels are looking? Last year was great.
So the water is down just slightly, but not a whole lot, I would say. I mean, if you're familiar, for those of you who haven't been there before, they wouldn't know a whole lot of difference. But for those of you who have been there several years, there's the concrete pads that are there. It's just one square lower than it was last year. So not a whole lot of difference. I would say about 12 feet difference than it was last year. Which with this storm, if you can, it's not hailing anymore, but with this storm that's coming, I imagine it's going to come right back up. So.
It's already gone up 2% this week.
Yeah, somebody just said it's already gone up 2% this week. So that's great. Yeah, great news. So we will continue to answer questions. I know that we always get questions on camping and signing up as far as how do I sign up for general camping or premium camping or RVs, and are RVs still available? We do still have, I know that Pismo Coast RV still had some RVs available. They do have, but the RV electrical is sold out, but they pre-purchased those RV electrical spots. So if anybody is still looking at getting an RV and they're not getting it because the RV electrical is sold out, I do know that they have those pre-purchased and set aside. So that is an option. For those who are like, I don't camp, that's not really my thing. There are vacation rentals that are available at Oak Shores, so that's something that you can look at. We will be answering all the questions over email as well. People are looking at their athlete newsletters, so make sure to kind of access, as far as us, on the safe list, events at wildflowerexperience.com. We're going to be sending out weekly newsletters to you. We just sent one out that had swim tips as well as some other tips that are on there. We'll be sending those out Mondays and Tuesdays each week, and it will have things. The travel tips was just on there with Oak Shores, or the Oak Hill Market as the nearest market that you can go to and get things. And so as we get emails that are coming into our customer service, we add those to our list of things that people have questions on, and we make sure to answer those. Same thing, Deb, if you have any questions, she's going to be sending an email out to everybody that's registered. I put on there, if you have not officially registered, if we sent you an email because you had said that you were interested in the program through your registration, but you hadn't officially enrolled in the program, make sure you go to the link that I sent and actually enroll in the program so that we can send you all the materials that you need. We had just over 185 that said they were interested but hadn't fully enrolled. So make sure you're enrolled, and that way we make sure to get you added to our Facebook, added to our WhatsApp, get you the materials from Deb, and then that way we're communicating with you on a regular basis. Any other questions, reach out to Deb through those groups, and she's going to be your point of contact. Also, you should have received an email already through being an athlete with Wildflower that's registered, that you get that free TriDot subscription. And so take advantage of that. Get enrolled, get signed up, and we're going to be sending you the link so that you can see what the program's all about. Get it tested by next week. We're going to open next week with any questions that you have. Get in there, try it out, and then they will be on next week. We're going to open the first 10 minutes with any questions that you guys have, and then we'll dive into next week's topics. So that bring to the meeting the questions that you have, and then we'll dive in. And then from there, we'll go ahead and get started on the topics. Any other things before we finish tonight?
And I really quick, I just added the link to our Facebook page if you want to be added, because I'm going to put everything that we talked about. And once the recording is ready, I will put that link on that as well. And then I will update WhatsApp as well as email. So you'll definitely get everything from us.
So thank you. Welcome to the Wildflower family. We appreciate you being a part of the event and joining us. And we hope that your experience is amazing and being a part of this Wildflower experience. We feel it is a community and that this is a family. So thank you for your time tonight and have a wonderful evening.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.